This is Tanya of TDR Academy of Movement and Therapy, and Happy New Year. So if you're watching this session, this has been recorded just in our first classes starting back. So we're going to be gentle under request, but we're going to just start to build up a little bit of movement in the body and just bringing a little bit of activation. So I hope this feels good for you, and yeah, we're not going to take it too stressful or too seriously, but just feel your way through it and yeah, enjoy. So we're going to get you started resting on your back. So bring yourself into a comfortable position lying down, and we're going to take you through a nice little relaxation just to get you in the zone. With your body in as long a position as you can make it. Maybe stretching through your right heel, almost trying to draw the leg, the hip out of the socket a little, and then let it relax. And then let the left leg lengthen, almost reaching out of the socket, and then let it relax. Allow the legs to fall loose. Allow the arms to reach, so reaching with the right hand, almost just sliding the hand a little bit more along the floor as if it's pulling the shoulder down away from your ear. And then let it relax. And then the same with the left, just reaching the arm long and then let it relax down by your sides. Let the shoulders fall heavy to the floor. And allow the back of the neck to lengthen. Maybe that will feel like you're drawing your chin closer to your chest. But once you find that length in the back of the neck, let the head go loose. Allow the eyes to close if they haven't already. And I want you to draw your awareness in around the pelvis, just to get a sense of how it feels like it's positioned at the moment. Just to notice, does it feel like your weight is heavy towards the tailbone of the pelvis, or can you feel more weight across the full area of the pelvis? And it doesn't matter which one you're in, but just notice it. And notice if you feel like your weight is more on the left or on the right side. And this time, if you do feel a difference, I want you to find a way of trying to center your weight across both sides. And once you feel like you're centered there, I want you to imagine that you're lengthening your tailbone towards your feet. And as you do that, that might draw a little bit more weight onto the back of the pelvis. Might flatten the lower back a little bit more, and you might even feel that something in the tummy just switches on slightly as the tailbone lengthens. Then it may feel like the pubic bone pulls up towards the rib cage. Allowing the body to settle into that position, noticing whether the back of your ribs are in contact with the mat underneath you, or do you feel like the ribs are lifted up towards the ceiling and there's a really big gap between your lower back and the floor? Keeping that awareness of a little contact of the ribs with the floor, and just get an overall sensation now of how the body feels. Maybe noticing if there's certain areas that feel more talkative to you. Is the body giving you more feedback from certain areas than others? Are they not comfortable? And if that is the case, then whatever you need to do to make your body feel fully comfortable, then allow it to adjust. And we're going to just draw your attention just briefly into your breath. We're going to match up the idea of visualization with internal sensation, almost tracking the progress from what you feel in your own body, but also what you can visualize is happening. As you take a breath in, feel that breath contact in through your nose, in through the back of the throat, and Moving down your windpipes into the belly and maybe feeling the belly open and rise and expand as the air fills the space. And as you breathe out, again, feeling the movement of the breath come from the belly up through the windpipe and out through the nose again. And maybe as you notice those sensations, can you visualize the air passing into those areas as well? It makes for a much more powerful awareness when you have more than one sense tuned in. We're going to take one final breath. And as you breathe out, just to draw the attention in towards your feet and into the soles of your feet. And very slowly, I want you to start to slide your right heel and your foot into contact. So you're bending that knee up and placing it onto the floor. And then drawing your attention into the left foot, and again slowly just dragging the heel and sliding the foot so you feel that contact with the floor underneath. And again, just a pause at this point because I want you to feel what's happening in the body. What feels different now? Do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel that this is a nicer position to be in, or no different? And again, it's just that awareness. What is your body like, or what is it not like? What feels good, what doesn't? Or what feels better? And then slowly from there, we're going to take a full body stretch. You can allow the eyes to open. Just become aware of everything around you again, but take the arms up and over, and then start to slide one leg out and then the other. And let everything lengthen. Let the rib cage lift off the floor. Let the arms reach out long. Let the legs reach, maybe either pointing through the balls of the feet or reaching through your heels. Maybe play with both of those to see how they feel in your body. And then take it into an alternating stretch. Reach the right hand as far away from you as you can, and reach the right foot as far away from you. So it's going to feel like you're lengthening the right side of your body. So it's pulling the right hip down, it's pulling the right shoulder up. And then release it and change. So reach the left arm up, reach the left leg away, so that it's lengthening you down the left side of your body. And then release. Let everything kind of come back in and set into the sockets. Bring the arms down by your sides. And as you bring them down softly, slide one leg in and then the other. And again, once you draw the legs in there, again, just notice whether the back of the neck feels long. And we're going to take a gentle rotation of the head, rotating from the right to the left, just letting the neck go nice and loose. A few times each way. And then slowly draw the head into center. So from there, we're going to slowly bring you up. So we're going to rotate you on to one side. So you can choose which side. And once you bring it up there, you can allow the knees to bend in. Maybe the underhand supports the head. All very gentle, all very slow. And once we get over onto your side, so then we're going to lengthen the top leg out and the top arm, just a little push in, whether it's with fingertips or whether it's with the palm of the hand, or whether the elbow on the floor underneath you to draw you up into seated. And then from there, if we bring you into a tall sitting position, okay, we're just going to allow a little hug of the knees, just if you like, we'll seal that one in nice and relaxed. So whatever distance you want the feet to be, you can allow the arms just to take a clasp of the wrists, let the arms hug around the knees, and let the weight of the body just kind of sink back a little, and the head to drape down. Bringing a little bit of lengthen through the back of the neck, the back of the spine. Take a deep breath in, Maybe opening the breath in across the mid-back, across the shoulder blades. And that deep breath in to open and widen that area. And the out breath to soften. And one final breath there. And as you breathe out, just allowing the spine to lengthen and to reset. So hopefully that has been a very nice, gentle induction just into awakening some senses in the body and awakening a little bit of the breath. So we'll bring in a little bit of movement now. Okay, so we're going to bring you onto hands and knees. So in that position, so if you find wrists aren't happy, take most of your weight on your legs so that the hands are just lightly resting, okay? And then from there, we're going to take those shape changes. So rounding the spine, again, those arms can be nice and light if you don't want to wait there. That's scooping in, tucking the tailbone under, lifting up through the rib cage. And then that change, lifting the tailbone, rolling the shoulders down again. Arms can be really light in that position. Pulling shoulder blades down the side seams. So take one more through each. Curling it under, rounding through your spine. Finding length, lengthening the head and tail away as you arch and dip the rib cage. And then sink it back. Once you come back into about a mid position, draw it back into child's pose. You can let the feet come together, the knees be apart, and reach the arms long. And as you reach those arms long, creep the fingers away from you so that you're trying to almost lengthen those arms out of the sockets again. The tailbone is pulling backwards, trying to find a little bit more length where you can. Take a deep breath in. And as you let the breath go, notice if the body can sink a little bit deeper to the floor. And then start to rock the hips a little bit side to side. And as you rock them side to side, again, just exploring how each area in the body feels. It's going to bring in a little rotation into the thighs. It's going to move the ribs. And then starting to gravitate into center. And as you do, press the knees into the floor, the feet into the floor, rise the body up, coming up onto, again, those all fours position. So we're going to tuck the toes under from there, take the weight onto your feet, and we're going to lift the hips up, but bring the feet about hip distance apart, and then bring the hands onto the legs. So again, they don't have to be fully weight bearing, they're just a light support. Shoulders, we're going to play with the shoulders first of all. So imagine that you're shrugging your shoulders up your ears and towards the floor, and then pull them down your back. So you're going to feel a little movement in your spine, more between those shoulder blades. Almost trying to find, I feel like, a point halfway between the two. When you do, it should feel like there's a little bit of work pulling the shoulder blades back, but the spine feels long and open. Same with the tailbone. Curl the tailbone under and then lift the tailbone high. So you're working with the lower back. So curling under, lifting the tailbone. And again, even as you do this, like lifting the tailbone up might bring a bit of a stretch into the back of the legs, depending how tight the hamstrings are. But then try to figure out a sense of a mid position between those two. Somewhere that you feel like you've got a little length in the tail, but something is pulling in with the tummy. And we're going to hold that point with the arms just reaching down by your sides. So the legs are active, arms are reaching long, shoulders are working, and the tummy is working to hold. Just taking a few breaths. And as you take this final breath, we're going to slowly bring it down to the floor. And as we bring it down to the floor, allow the knees to draw out. We're going to take the arms further forward. We're going to come into puppy. So the knees and the hips don't have to be in line. You can be a little bit further back with the hips, a little bit like approaching child's pose, but the arms are reaching long. So this is trying to get a little bit of a back bend in and around the area between the shoulder blades and just below the thoracic spine. A deep breath in. And with each breath, noticing movement. So when you take an in-breath, you should feel like you kind of rise up a little bit away from the floor as the lungs fill. And as you breathe out, can can you relax the body up to let those shoulders sink a little bit more towards the floor? Taking one final breath there. And then slowly start to creep the hands back. And we're going to bring you into seated position from there. Now, depending on how tight everything is feeling, if you want to sit on a pillow, if that makes it a little bit easier for you, we're going to draw you into a cross-legged position. So it just depends how tight the hips are feeling. So you can set it up whether with the feet being kind of like quite close together, or whether you want them to be a little bit more cross. So your easy position, if you like, that cross-legged pose is whatever you want to make it, okay? And however close in your feet want to be or far away. We're going to start to bring in a little other movements in through your spine now. So take the right hand just gently, fingertips to the floor, reaching up through that left arm. So a side bend in, maybe just a little glance up towards the ceiling, and then coming back in through center. Taking it over the other side, again, it can be a light contact with the hand, reaching the arm up and over, a little glance to the ceiling, and back into center. In breath as you transition, out breath, feel that stretch into the side body. In breath as you transition, out breath as you lengthen. We're going to take one more, and this time, as you take it over into the stretch, we'll pause for a breath, and in breath to open and expand around the rib cage, and the out breath, let it go, and then change it over. So again, as we take it across, pause, taking that in breath to open the side ribs, and the out breath to let it soften, coming back into center. And as you do, we're going to take a twist. So bringing, it doesn't matter which way you go, you're going to bring one hand behind you, the arm crosses the body, take a hold of the knee, and imagine that your spine is being lifted and lengthened through the top of the head, and your arms are pulling you into that twist. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to pause there for another breath. Can you use the arms to take it a little bit further into that twist? And again, another breath in. And as you breathe out, again a pause. And then slowly returning to center. Try to keep that length that you've gained in your spine. Take it over the other side. So hands again helping to keep the posture tall. Taking it into that twist. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, softening, and maybe allowing those arms to pull you a little bit deeper into that twist. In breath, lengthening, and out breath, softening. And then slowly drawing back into center. So we're going to take it forwards. And I want you to imagine in this position, you're trying to keep that height that you've gained with your spine. So I don't want you to kind of drop into a bit of a slump. So wherever you can get to, if you feel you want to use your hands to pull on the legs to take you forward, you can use that. If you can let yourself fold, however far you can get without dropping into a slump. Once you get there, it's that hinge at the hips to take you into that position, to bring a stretch into those hips, maybe into the back. Take a pause, deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, if you feel that you need to go further, you can allow the spine to round and the head to drape down. And you're going to hold wherever that feels like that's appropriate for you, whether with the long back or whether with the rounded back. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Maybe noticing on each out breath, can you maybe delve a little deeper into your position, or maybe, depending where you're at, maybe it just feels better to stay where you are and try to relax into it. And after your 3rd breath, walking the hands back. And then from there, we're going to bring you into the other cross leg. So we're just going to switch the legs over. And again, make yourself comfortable wherever that feels like the feet need to go, narrow, wider, closer in, further away. This side might be a little bit different. Okay. And once we're there, again, we're going to take it into those little side movements. So we're taking it over to the left. So as we take it up and over that side stretch and back into center, and taking it up and over, other way. And again, then as we pass through, in breath to pass through, out breath to lengthen, in breath, passing through, out breath to lengthen. And again, we're going to pause as we get to the side this time again. So taking that pause, we're going to take an in-breath when you're ready to open up into those side ribs again. As the out-breath, soften and change it over. So again, lift it up and over, reaching, taking that in-breath and the out-breath, softening, and then coming back in through center. So taking it into rotation again, doesn't matter which way you go. So bringing one hand to the opposite knee, other hand in behind spine, nice and tall. Use the arms to take you into that twist. Breath in, rising tall. And the out breath, softening but staying there. And again, one more breath. In breath and out breath. Softening while you're there. And then slowly releasing the twist. So take it through, other side, again nice and tall. Use the arms to help you lengthen, but to bring the rib cage into that deeper rotation. In breath. And as you breathe out, can you soften and go a little bit further? And again, in breath, deepen. And out breath, soften. Slowly returning back into center. Once we get there, then taking the two hands in front. So again, that aim of trying to hinge at the hips, the long back as you come forwards. So wherever you can get to on that with the long back first, and then you can decide if that feels good for your body to stay there. We'll take a breath there. And then as you breathe out, if you want to take it further, to bring the stretch maybe a little bit more into your back, allow the back to round and the head to drape forwards. And we're going to be here again for those 3 breaths. They don't have to be deep. It's just trying to encourage the body on the out breath to soften in some way, whether that's to deepen the stretch or just to soften. And then slowly after your 3rd breath, walking the hands back. We're going to bring you with the legs out in front, the fingertips out to the side. You don't have to put a lot of weight onto them at all. It's just very light support, just to allow the legs into windscreen wipers, just that little rock side to side, just to mobilize the hips a little. Okay, so we're going to draw you from there into center. And bring the legs in and around behind again. So we're going to start to come up into a little bit more fuller position for your Sun Salutation. Okay, so from there, okay, so we're going to draw it, and all the time you can always keep weight off those hands. You're going to draw the right leg forwards and in between. So it's light fingertip support. The legs are doing most of the work to allow the hips to sink forwards. Now once you get them there, so you can decide pushing into that front foot, whether you feel stable enough, or hands to the knees to rise the body up. And as you rise the body up, you're sinking those hips a little bit further forwards. Trying to encourage lengthen through your spine, the belly button almost pulling in towards your spine to lengthen the tailbone down to the floor. Keeping, if it's the right leg forward, keeping the left arm up and the right hand to the right hip. Take that left arm up and across to the right. So you're bringing a side bend into that left side of the body. And then return the hands back into center. And as you lean forward, take the arms behind. So I don't want you to let the body support on the leg. I want you to stay strong through your spine. So that long back position, arms reaching nice and long. And imagine the more you pull your fingertips down and back, the more it draws your shoulder blades down your back. That front leg is working. Hopefully tummy muscles are working as well. And then bringing the hands to the floor and allow the body to sink back, just to open up through the front of that leg, so that the same leg forward, yeah. You're going to keep that hip over that back knee, and wherever, if you need to adjust, the leg might not be straight, it's just wherever you need to go to bring that stretch in through the leg. Holding from there. And appreciating what that feels like. Okay. So from there, we'll just take those little rocks. So starting to move the body forwards, we're going to lift the arms up, reach it tall. And then as we bring the arms down, press the hips back. So we're going to bring that little link in between those two movements. Rock the body weight forward, push into that front leg, lift the arms, reach the hips forwards. And again, arms back down, press the hips back. And again, sliding forwards. Strong drop. So everything lifting up tall through the spine. So those core muscles are just switching on. Last one. As we come forward, reach it up and through. And as the arms come down, the hips drifting back, that final position. And then you can allow that leg to come in behind. Again, you can keep the weight off the wrists if you need to. Just taking that cat-cow or sad cat with the rounded spine and happy cat with the arched spine is a little release. Take one more. Round back on the out breath, arch back on the in breath. And as you find your way into mid position, bring the left leg forwards. So again, once we draw it through there, let those hips sink through wherever you feel that you can get to. And once they're there, press into that front foot, bring the upper body up, whether hands to the knees or all the way up, letting those hips sink forwards and through. And then from there, with that left leg forward, left hand to the left hip, right arm up, reaching across to the left to bring that stretch up that right side of the body. And then as you come back into center, so bringing the arms down to the floor, but almost imagining that little pause on the way down, so that you're keeping that sense of the tension in through the back. So you know the core muscles are on, that front leg is pushing down, and you've got that reach with the arms to get the shoulder blades active. Take the hands to the floor, and then start to send the hips back. And as you do, bring it in until you feel that stretch wherever you need to, at what intensity you need to. And again, as you're in that position, just listening to what your body says. You don't have to bulldoze through anything. This is aimed at being gentle. So as long as it just feels like it's at that edge of a stretch. And then starting to drift forwards, we're going to take the weight forwards. As we do, start to press that front foot into the floor, rise it up. So postural muscles are lifting you nice and tall. And then as the arms come down, send it back, drift the weight back, find that edge of your stretch. And again, as the hips drift forward, again, find that length in the lunge, push the front foot in, lengthen the spine. And drawing down, pressing back. So it's getting those muscles lengthening, but also activating, reaching. And you might notice that as we go through each time, that maybe you're able to get that little bit further, maybe it just feels a little bit easier as you drift into position. And again, lifting and lengthening. We're going to take one last one. So as those hips sink forward again, strong with the leg press, lifting the body up tall. And as we draw back down again, sending the hips back, find that edge of your stretch. And then slowly from there, draw the leg in behind. We're going to lower you to the floor, okay? So if that feels like it's better to come onto elbows, you can let the elbows move out wide. Otherwise, take it down through that lowering, a little bit of a half a press up to the floor. When you get there, reach the right leg out long and straight, as if you're pulling it out of the hip socket. Reach the left leg out long and straight, pulling it out so you find length. A little rock of the pelvis, trying to find its way into centered. So the hands are just resting beside the body. Elbows are narrow and pulling the shoulder blades away from your ears, so you're not weight bearing. And then in the in-breath, lift the chest, lengthen the legs, so the legs are tensioned. So you feel your quads squeezing nice and tight. And then lower the body back down. On the next in-breath, again, roll the shoulders behind, in-breath, lift. And on the out-breath, lower. Take one more. Roll the shoulders behind, in-breath to lift. And the out-breath to lower. We're going to rest your head onto your hands. Let the legs go loose, let the arms go loose, let the chest sink heavy to the floor. So with the head supported, with the hands underneath the forehead, imagine that you're trying to let the head go as loose as you can, so the neck feels long. And I want you to find just your pelvic tilt, so as if you're kind of tucking your tail between your legs and lifting your tail to the ceiling. So just those few pelvic tilts, just to notice when you go into like a flat back, the tummy pulls in tight, and whenever you lift your tail, the tummy goes loose. So I want you to keep a little awareness that as you drift through those, when you find a mid position, that you should feel the tummy get a little bit tight and the tail tuck a little bit between your legs. Now in that position, we're going to do another lift of the upper body. So in breath, lift the upper body, leave the arms on the floor, but try to keep that awareness of that pull in of the lower tummy, and then relax back down. So again, in breath. So you're keeping the tummy muscles pulled in as you lift the upper body, and out breath to relax back down. Take one more. In breath to lift, and the out breath to lower. So we're then going to add in a lift of a leg as we do that. So we're going to lift the upper body on the in breath and the right leg. So you're lifting the right leg, the upper body's lifted, and lower everything down together. In breath, lift the upper body and lift the left leg, and everything down together. And we're going to take one more each side. In breath to lift, arm and one leg, and down, and then opposite side, upper body and other leg, and back down. So we're going to take just 2 movements where we're going to lift everything. So on an in breath, we're lifting everything off the floor. Hands and head are connected, everything's lifted, and back down. And again, in breath, lifting everything, and the out breath, back down. We'll bring you into Sphinx position. So if you allow your elbows to go underneath your shoulders. And I want a little activity there. So you're pushing down through the elbows, but also a little pull backwards. You're almost pulling your chest through your arms. And let your head rest where it feels long with the rest of the spine. And then from there, again with the legs nice and long. So elbows right underneath the shoulders. So you're all the way up there on the support, a bit like plank, okay? So you know where we're going. so once those elbows are supporting you, that little push down and pull back, I want you to think about that pelvic tilt that we went through. So I want you to imagine you're tucking your tail between your legs so that it pulls your belly button and maybe the pubic bone up away from the floor, so that you feel your glutes are squeezing, but you feel something in the lower tummy happening, and maybe more connection with the elbows. So again, we're just going gently into this. So this is like a first early version of going into plank. Let it relax. We're going to do another 3 of those. So again, scoop the tummy in and lengthen the low back and the glutes squeeze. And then release and let the back relax down. And again, pull it in and let it relax down. So last one, so making sure you feel this in the lower tummy and the glutes, the bottom squeezing, and then release. So when we set up to go into the next position, okay, you can choose to stay with that one, or if you want to go to the next, which is 3/4 plank, you can do. So it's that push down, pull back with the arms and the shoulders. And when you scoop in the tummy muscles and tuck the tail between the legs and squeeze the bottom, then can you lift the pelvis? There's more weight on the elbows, yes. Shoulders are trying to stay down in the back. The lower tummy is working. We're going to hold it there for 5 breaths. Feel free, if that's too much, you can always drop it back where you're lowering the pelvis. But 5 breaths, making sure you're breathing. And once you get to the end of that 5th breath, you can lower the hips back down again. We're going to stay on the elbows, but we're going to start to bring you up. So you can slide the hands back, maybe it's just fingertips, okay? Or maybe you come from elbows to fold the hips back to reach you into child's pose. And as you get there, again, imagine that sense of lengthening. Your tailbone is reaching away from the arms as they reach forward to bring length. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, try to soften anything that feels like it's resisting that position of rest. And let the shoulder blades rock side to side. Letting them move just a little, just to feel that rock through the thighs, the pelvis, the shoulders, the arms. And then slowly drawing back into center. And as you do, we're going to start to rise you up to bring you into seated again. Okay. So we're going to take it into a couple of other stretches, okay? We're going to bring you to lie down. So once you're up there, curl the tailbone under and then slowly lower the body to lie down. Okay. So once we're there, okay, we're going to bring it in just a little bit of a twist, just to open up the side of the body. So we're going to cross the right leg over the left. So we're going to open it up into that hip. When you cross the right leg over, draw the legs in for a hug. And that maybe feels like it is a stretch into that right hip. So if you don't feel it from there, you can draw the knees in either closer, or imagine that you're pressing the right knee to the left shoulder, so you're getting that opposite line. But wherever you feel you need to go to, just to bring that little bit of a stretch in through the hip. And sometimes maybe even just lengthening your tailbone as if you're almost arching your back can help to increase that as well. So you're just getting a sense of breathing into it, relaxing, noticing the sensation, and hopefully as you hold there it starts to soften a little. It's not as noticeable, it eases in some way. And when it does, we're going to take rotation. We're going to bring the legs across the body. So if your right leg is the one that's on top, your legs are going to your left. So you can either keep the legs in the air to take them across, or if you want to go a little bit softer again, then you can have the left foot on the floor as you take the twist. So it's whatever size of movement that you feel that you can take it to, so that you can relax into that position. And once you get there, if you can, allow that underneath leg to rest to the floor. Using the left hand to the right knee to help secure you. So making sure that if it's the right leg on top, you've gone to the left with the legs. Yeah, that's it. So that once you're there, hopefully that's opening up into that outer hip a little bit more, maybe coming up into that waistline. The left arm to the right knee and the right arm can be out to the side, looking at that right hand. And again, it's noticing if anything in the body feels like it's resisting that movement. Is it fighting it? Can you figure out some way to let everything relax? And whether that's using your breath or, again, that idea of visualizing, sensing what's going on in your body and helping things to relax, to soften. Now, when we're drawing out from this position, where your knees are, I want you to let them stay there, but I want you to adjust the legs so that one leg is on top of the other in like a chair position, so that your arms are now open in a bit of a T position with both legs to one side. So your knees, I want them to be roughly level with your hips, so that you're as if you're sitting on a chair, okay? So knees right up level with your hips, that's it. Now once you're there, so that back hand is going to come open, up and try to close on top of the other hand, and then we're going to continue for another 4 of those. So reaching open with the arm and then closing it down, but the legs are just trying to stay as closely connected in that chair position as they can. Just gently taking it through. It's called a little book opener, as if you're opening the book through the spine. It's rotating, it's creating a little bit of space to open the chest. Okay, now once you finish that final opening and bringing those arms in together, okay, so then from there we're going to bring you up into your seated position again. So you can lengthen the top leg, you can press it up into seated. And again, as we get there, we're into that tall sitting position. It's just that purpose of lengthening the spine before we bring you back down to the floor for the other side. So that curl of the tailbone, just making the tummy work a little bit as we take it slowly to the floor. Finding length as you place the spine on the floor. And then from there, we're going to bring the left leg on top of the right. And again, once it's cross-legged over there, you can hug the legs in towards you. And as you're hugging them in, trying to figure out, is that enough of a stretch on that left hip? If you need to go a little bit deeper, maybe pulling the knee towards the opposite shoulder, and maybe imagining you're plugging the legs down into the sockets, or maybe even trying to arch the lower back, so that might increase the stretch or the attempt at arching the back. And as you're holding there, just trying to settle in Relaxing the legs, maybe noticing if you're actually holding the legs, can you let them go loose? And then slowly from there, we're going to start to bring in that rotation. So with the left leg on top, we're going to the right. So you can keep your right hand on the left knee, whether the legs stay lifted as you take them across or whether you ground that right foot and take the twist. Left arm is open behind you and your gaze can look to the left hand. Trying to find a way of settling into that position, relaxing in. And just settling, taking a few breaths, noticing over the course of those breaths, what else can you let go of? What else can relax into this position in some way? And then slowly from there, we're going to start to reset the legs, one on top of the other. So keep them at that side, into that chair position, knees roughly level with the hips, one leg on top of the other. And then as you bring those arms out in front, we're going to take that book opener, reaching the arm open and wide, and then slowly closing the arms together. So that book opener, reaching it up and open, and closing. So we're taking 5 in total. And again, that opening, letting everything reach to open the chest. And when we get to the end of the 5th one, the hands will be connected. And again, then you can use the arms to give you a little nudge, lengthening that top leg out to bring you up into a seated position again. So we're going to reset you again, drawing it into that mid position. It's again just to bring that sense of lengthening. You're grounding your 2 sit bones, the spine is long. And again, tuck the tailbone under. Imagine you're drawing in through the ribs, rolling your spine down to the floor. And we're going to place your heels underneath your knees, so around about that hip distance apart. We're going to take shoulder bridge, so again nice and gentle, just for the purposes of the movement. So start to draw the belly button to the spine, pull the pubic bone up so you feel the back flattening, and then lifting the tailbone up and off. And as you do, it's almost like a wheel is rolling through your spine. You're lifting up one tread after another, or one bone of the spine and then the other, and then slowly rolling the spine back down again. And I want you to keep this awareness of length as you move your spine. So whenever you start to imprint the back, it's not that your tail is pulling up towards your shoulders, it's pulling up towards the ceiling. And then it's lengthening away down through your thighs. And on the way back down again, as you draw the ribs in, trying to place the spine down one bone at a time, your tailbone is lengthening towards your heels. So you're making it really slow but really smooth. Trying to get a sense, where can you find extra length in your spine? You're pulling everything away from the neck and shoulders. And again, taking one final movement there. And as you bring the spine back down again, and take the arms overhead, take it back into that full body stretch. As you reach everything nice and long, the arms are lengthening, the legs are lengthening, the ribs can pop up and off. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, again float the arms down, draw the legs in and bring both of them in for a hug. And as you do, you can let the tailbone round off, a little rock side to side. And we're just going to bring it in a little bit of a hip stretch again. So lengthening the left leg out, keeping a hold of that right leg. And we're going to bring that right knee open and out to the side. So we're just getting a little bit of that inner thigh. Okay, so as you imagine that leg is opening away from the body. So rather than across the body, taking it away. And once it's open there, I don't want you to let your hips roll. You're trying to keep the left glute or the left hip, left pelvis down onto the floor as the right knee is trying to rest the floor. Maybe even that sense of lengthening through that left leg or pointing through the toes just to try to create that length in. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, draw the tummy in to help draw that knee across the body. And then again, yeah, take the leg all the way across. So you're taking into full rotation. So the right arm's open to the side, the left arm securing that right knee across the body. Bringing that stretch in through the waistline and through the ribs, the back. Take a deep breath in. And release. So we're going to bring that into movement. So allow the pelvis to draw in. Take the leg open to the side. So I want you to keep an awareness that the tummy is active. The leg is lengthening, the straight leg is lengthening. And then again on the next out breath, draw the knee in across, take it across the body, bring it into that stretch again, reaching into that twist. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, soften, take the leg away. Again, all the way open to the side, reaching through the straight leg. And again, bringing the leg across, last twist across the body. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, draw back into center. Take a hold of the back of the leg, and we're just going to bring it into the back of the thigh. So bringing in a reach to the ceiling. Maybe the leg doesn't straighten, that doesn't matter. As long as you get a stretch, you're taking it to that edge of your stretch, just nudging into it. Lengthen the leg and then shorten it down. And again, lengthen the leg and then shorten it down. We're going to take another 3 of those. Lengthen and shorten. Wherever you can go to with it. And once you've done that final one there, so you're going to pop the leg down onto the floor and we're going to scoop the left leg up. Now as you bring that left leg up, again you're reaching out through the right leg just as you need to, get comfy. And once it's in there, take it open to the side. So again, when you open that left leg away to the left, you're reaching the right leg down, just trying to keep that centered pelvis as best as possible. Allowing that knee, you can use the hand, you're going to either support it or press it to the floor. And then slowly take that in breath as you breathe out, draw the leg across the body, take it all the way over to feel that twist, that reach, that opening through the hip, through the waistline, into the back, maybe into the chest, the shoulder. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, drawing the leg back into center, so taking it across. So again, open the leg out to the side, keep the straight leg reaching long. Breath there. And as you breathe out, drawing back in through center, reaching all the way across. And again, as you get there, take that breath in. And as you breathe out, draw back into center. We're going to take it one more each way. Again, as you open the leg, taking that breath in. And on the out breath, draw it across for that final breath in that rotation. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, again, slowly drawing back in through center, realigning the pelvis, evening you up, taking a hold of the back of that thigh. Flex foot, reaching the heel up towards the ceiling, wherever you can get to bring that edge of the stretch in on that hamstring, and release. And again, lengthening and release. Taking 3 more. And lengthen and release. Lengthen and release. That final one. Lengthen and release. Drawing both knees in, we're going to take a hold of the ankles or the feet. They don't have to be together, so you can just help to draw them in closer to you. So you're in butterfly, knees are open, allowing that sense of creating space on those inner thighs again, just both at the same time this time. Allowing the tailbone to lengthen. Taking one final deep breath. And as you let go of the breath, let go of the feet, we're going to bring you back into that full body stretch, reaching everything long, just taking that reach, whether it's the alternating stretch again, one side reaching long the other, or whether just that full body stretch, whatever you need before we set you up into that final little bit of relaxation at the end. And once you're ready, remembering back to the start, whenever we did that relaxation, did you feel better when your legs were straight and you were relaxed, or did you feel better with the legs bent in? So you can choose whichever one was better for you. If you want to experiment again, you can. But I want you to find where you can be at your most rested. And you're going to allow the eyes to close. Getting a sense of the shoulders being open, the arms being long and relaxed down by your sides, maybe even out a little bit from the body. And wherever the legs are resting, trying to encourage them to relax. If the legs are bent, maybe allowing the feet to go a little bit wider and the knees to fall into center line together, to let them fully relax. We're just going to draw back into that visualization and that internal sensation with your breath. As you take your deep breath in, visualizing the journey of the air moving in through your nose and feeling the contact. Feeling it contact the back of the throat as it moves down into the lungs and fills the belly, fills deep down into the belly. And as you breathe out, feeling the belly draw in and start to feel the warm breath starting to move up, reaching the back of the throat and passing out through the nose or the mouth. Just visualizing and sensing. I'm going to take one final breath there. And taking almost like a snapshot of how your body feels right now. And hopefully it feels more rested and relaxed, but that you feel good, that you've moved, you've brought the body through a number of different positions there, that you can feel changes in your body from when you first lay down. So just in your own time, we're going to start to bend the legs up, and we're going to bring you onto your side. You can open the eyes up just to be aware of what's around you. And then slowly, in your own time again, starting to bring yourself up into a comfortable seat, wherever that is. And as you bring yourself up, bring the hands onto your heart center and know that yes, you have showed up, you have practiced for the body, and hopefully you feel better, and that's always a good pat on the back. Namaste. So I hope you enjoyed that session, and if you do our sessions and you do like them, please leave us a like and leave us a comment. It'll only take you a few seconds just to post something. We would love to get more feedback from you on what sort of videos that you would like to see. Subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified of when videos are added so that you can keep up with us and keep moving. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you again soon on your mat.